front of us lugs. And, accordingly, we see fragments. Spare parts. We found a hole. We have torn up military equipment in front of us. Here is a Soviet pot. As well as in the course of the action, Sasha began probing and we found the remains of a soldier. To the left of it are machine gun belts. They are from the Maxim machine gun. And the legs are in that direction. The guys dug around. We've finished cleaning up. This is a Red Army soldier. In all probability IT was thrown into the pit. He has belt, bullets in the pocket, RGD-33 grenade. His legs are bound. This was done with the help of tapes from Maxim. The soldiers were apparently dragged by their feet and thrown into the pits. There is a pot in the corner. The soldiers' legs are partially broken. Here is such a picture before our eyes. There are many more soldiers lying here. We still have somewhere 2 or 3 soldiers. We are basically done with this location. Now we will start laying out the skeletal bones. And that's it. We have a second signal. And we have the remains of a soldier. These are combat parts from the projectile's so-called heads. We found fragments of remains in the trench. We have hope that there is a soldier there and not just remains. We are going to expand now. Previously these pits were already dug. We have already finished it and will continue to do so. Perhaps there are soldiers here. Most likely it is the hip part but damaged. Do you see that? Here is the damaged part. But there's a helmet on the side. This is a Soviet helmet. There will be a soldier here. We need to understand how it is located. Please go this way a little. The idea is that the pelvis is closer to the other side, unless the soldiers are folded in half. We have soldiers in front of us. Today we have 2 more soldiers. It turns out that for today there are already 6 soldiers. These Red Army soldiers. This soldier has no head. One without a head and unfortunately the other without a head. One head is definitely here. We see it in the helmet. We see the lower jaw. On this side, we can even lift the helmet a little and show. There is no head on this side. There are bullets to the Mosin system rifle. See the buttons. We have 2 buttons. Next, the soldier has penknife, 2 belts, buttons and bullets in the pocket. We haven't found any more items yet. So far this is the situation. Andrei, what do you have there? This is our 70th location. These are soldiers numbered 105 and 106. The depth of occurrence is literally 40 centimeters or 1.5 bayonet shovels. This is a hit to the head. If you look from this side then, we see the very real face of death. This is the situation. It's raining now. We're just finishing up here and moving on. There's not even any water inside, you see? And so 3 Soviet helmets were discovered. The fighter had 1 glass flask, fragment from the technique, oil can, and here is the store from the machine. Fragments of technology. These were all found near the excavation site where the soldier is lying. This soldier has the number 117, location number 66. Soldier in boots. In the pocket had cartridges for the automatic system PPSH-41. Then there is a small sapper shovel number 35, and the belt. This is an infantry soldier's belt. The soldier sat and died in this position and remained here. Most likely it has damage to the skull and there is an entrance shrapnel hole on the side of the forehead. Here we see this blow. It's right in the forehead. And here is the exit from this side. Sticking the tooth. My guess is that the cranium is completely shattered. This is the half-sitting position left by the soldier. Apparently the soldier tried to look out from the trench and received a shrapnel wound, which was aimed at the head, and this wound was incompatible with life. In one of the excavations there was such an interesting shovel. This is the first time we've found one. Maybe someone knows what this shovel is. Write to us. Very interesting. It is damaged but extraordinary. The shovel has holes like this. And so we just got a call from a resident and said that in the forest found the remains of a man. This is a Soviet soldier and perhaps more than one. He found the skull. There was a helmet and he made a grave. It was a long time ago. So we're going to go see him. We may find soldiers. And when you left, someone came here and started digging? Was that a few years ago? Thank you very much for being indifferent. Unfortunately, there are very few people who report finding the remains of soldiers. But still such people exist and this makes us very happy. Now let's sort it out a little bit and see what we have here. Rake the leaves, please. So now we are carefully removing the top layer of earth. That's how you made your mark. I understand. We are now sorting out an old tree that is bothering us. Guys, these soldiers can be lying on this side. Let's first determine how they can be located. Oleg, please make a small hole here. We have soldiers on the field, too. We have already found more than 30 people. We did find human remains here. Here's the cranium. Here is the head and fragments from the helmet. Someone managed to take the helmet and the soldiers were left here. This is good news. Maybe the black diggers didn't take the body apart. We may find personal identification marks here. After all, the bodies of the soldiers were in the hands of the black diggers. We suggest that these are Red Army soldiers. Although at the moment no other items have been found. There used to be a helmet here, but there is nothing on the personal identification items. About 20 years ago their bodies were defaced. And they were thrown into a pit. Presumably there are 2 or 3 Red Army soldiers here. And even then 20 years ago there were such people, and now they are. Those people who do not care about the fate of the dead. They defrosted the bodies and dumped them in the pit. It is good that we were told this news. We have arrived and now we know where the remains of the soldiers are. We thought that the remains of the soldiers were intact, but it turned out that looters had been here. So now we will work in the forest. Now we will set the location. They are most likely soldiers numbered 121 and 122 and 123. So we are making little progress in our work. To sum up, we were shown the remains of soldiers who were still intact when they were first found. Then the black diggers came here. A mug like this was found. Belt and bone fragments. Here are the remains of a soldier. This is leather from the pouch. And here is the pouch itself. And fragments of bone remains. We will continue our work and get fragments of remains. This is the fourth soldier to date. We found a lot of scrap metal. Here's what we found interesting. Soviet gas mask. Fragments of military equipment. This is for cleaning the barrel. Spare parts. Store from Thompson. These are the fragments we find. Here are some more fragments of military equipment. We also have signals there. But first we need to get all this scrap metal. Perhaps there are soldiers lying somewhere. We also have scrap metal there. Let's see. Some fragment of tin strip. This is protection. And a lot of shells and all different. Completely different and unlike each other. Here are three completely different projectiles in caliber and modification. It's foggy and we can't see anything. You found something big, right? Could it be a mine? What's it? Here is such a detail. There's something big lying here, that's why the signal was so strong. You be careful, maybe there's a mine here. Try it on my side. What is the object? There is a lot of broken military equipment in this place. Lift it up, please. It's a frying pan. A good iron. Such a pancake can be hung on a barbell. So let's keep working. There was something else on the left side, wasn't there? Oh, this is F1. Everything burned out completely. Is there something else? There is a lot of scrap metal here. This is another store from Thompson. Also burned. These are the items that came under Lend-Lease to the Soviet army. For weapons along with equipment there was a Thompson submachine gun. There were also Colts and guns. These are the items we found. 2 stores of weapons. And a lot of metal. The signal is sent to us in different directions. This is a bullet from Thompson. We can see that it has melted due to the high temperature. There were also British bullets number 303. And American bullets too. What have you got there? Let me see. It may be a headlight, but I'm not sure. There was something twisted inside. It looks like a headlight. There is a light bulb inside. What else is there? Some fragments. One more shop. Maybe there were pouches. This is from Thompson. This one more or less still survived. Someone told us that there was no technology at that time and no one helped anyone. We see the opposite. Everything worked and everyone fought against Germany. All Europe was at war against. The detonation occurred. This is a torn F1 grenade. Here are the stores. 3 pieces. Grenade. We can also detect an automaton. It is very interesting to have this in the exhibits. Imagine taking this to a museum. We will continue working, and we will show you items. Here is such a great beauty in front of us. We have expanded here, creating another location. Here are the spent bullets, and all sorts of details. What's that looking out there? This is an observation slot in the tank. Intact. The shell casing fell out. There's a shell nearby. This is a cover from MG. It means that somewhere there must be everything else. There's a wall there, right? Here's the cartridge case. Survivor. We come across British shell casings in very large numbers. Half of the M39. Nikita, we need to get to the bottom of this. Here's what we found. Magazine from a machine gun. This is from MG34. Show us what's in there. Holder. This is 1941. Interesting thing. Chain. Something sticks out, right?
Где-то под верхом, брат. Ух ты, елки-палки. Прям с быка. Один остался. Ну вот. А теперь видим. Ну, да,
It's probably an anti-tank rifle. They are either American or English. Curiously. Here are some interesting items we come across.
Непонятные предметы. Вот там у тебя
What have you got there?
Был сигнал, пошли советские гильзы стреляные, потом колючая проволока.
Мгм. И
В общем,
касочка.
советский, да, советский солдат. Вот, что свидетельствует каска.
And also Soviet buttons.
Да, настрел советских пацанов.
Да, пошел.
Всегда сейчас будем здесь.
Да.
Штук.
We started working here. The soldier is torn.
И у него
And he's got an F1 grenade that's been blown up.
разрыв.
There was a detonation.
Детонировало.
Buttons.
Пальцы,
Buttons from shoulder straps. And
звездочка
asterisk.
на пилотку. Вот такая
Here is such a soldier's star. Very beautiful.
было.
The enamel has already deteriorated. German unloading was lying nearby.
Ну, вот так вот.
Automatic disc.
В принципе, все, что так, у нас уже
The sun has already
солнце
set.
село. И
And
два
we
бойца
found 2 Red
ФК.
Army soldiers.
Опа.
One of them without shoes and near it a fragment of the phone.
Телефона, баки-
Bakelite phone.
каска,
Broken helmet.
голова.
His head is missing. The head is separate from the body.
Видно, скинул
Most
на
likely he was dropped first and then another soldier was dropped from above.
в кармане мундштук.
He has a mouthpiece in his pocket. And also,
Пряжка.
buckle. No more items available.
Далее
Disc to the PPSH machine.
И у
And
этого
this
бойца
soldier also has a mouthpiece.
мундштук. Карман.
In the pocket and a transparent mouthpiece. And disc loaded to the PPSH machine.
Автоматы ППШ и каска
And there is a hard hat next to it. The head is also separate from the body.
отбита. Скорее всего,
Most likely the head was damaged by shrapnel. The soldier's helmet is damaged. Apparently the damage was caused by an explosive wave.
треснула. Ну, в принципе,
For today we will finish our work.
у нас время уже
The clock is already 8 p.m.
начало без 10:08.
It's already dark outside.
Вот. Ребята уже заканчиваем работу. Ух ты, даже номер стоит. Разбаком уже. А ты чехол, видишь, такой как нарекан. Нет инициалов, где? Ух ты, елки-палки. Ура! Ура! Вот это все. И есть фамилия бойца Почтарев.
If you have found dead soldiers or know the burial places where soldiers may be located, please contact us using the phone number shown on the screen.
Просим обратиться